I am so excited to introduce you to one of my friends, photographer David Molnar from Nashville, Tennessee. Welcome, David.
Thanks for having me.
So excited. I'm going to pick your brain today, David, because we live in a culture that is bombarded with images, beautiful photography, amazingly beautiful women, especially. And so since I'm typically a female trainer, I really want to shed light on this industry and, just pick your brain about how we can look better in pictures, but also just a little bit of inside information on, why these people look so great. And,
right.
So can you just give me a background of what you do, who you are?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my name's David Molnar. I'm a music and advertising photographer based in Nashville. I shoot mostly album covers in the music industry, and I do some advertising campaigns and dabble in a few other things. But yeah, I shoot some celebrities and different musicians and stuff, and it's really neat to see the transformation from normal person to rock star.
Right.
And there's a lot of steps that go from to get them from point A to point B, and I'm sure that's what we're going to talk about today.
Totally. So the thing is that we look at fashion magazines, we're on the internet all the time, we're on Pinterest, we see all these images, and sometimes we're feeling great about ourselves, we're working out, we're eating right, but then we see all these images and we look in the mirror and it's like that's not translating to normal people. But I really feel like even the most beautiful celebrities are still normal people.
They are.
Tell me about this transformation.
Well, you're exactly right, Suzanne. There's a lot of things that go into it. On one of my photo shoots, for example, let's say for an album cover, there's going to be a makeup artist. There's going to be a hairstylist, a wardrobe stylist. They're going to go shopping. They're going to find clothes that are flattering and fit the shape, and they might even alter the clothes and all these different things. And then there's going to be layers and layers of makeup, and then there's going to be hair cutting, and sometimes there's hair extensions, and sometimes there's falsies, and there's all these things. And then comes the photos, and we're going to take just to get one picture, we might take 300 or 400, sometimes more pictures to get that perfect angle. And I think one of the things we're going to talk about today is how to get those great angles and how to look skinny and great in those pictures.
Yes.
But it's important for girls to know, for anyone to know that it's not like these people look like this all the time. This is like the perfect moment when all the stars have aligned and the makeup is just right, the hair is just right, the wardrobe is just right. There might be some Photoshop, and then not to mention we've caught like the perfect, most flattering angle. So these people are real people. They are genuine. A lot of them are very down to earth, and we make them look beautiful. And I personally try not to make people look fake. I just try to bring out their very best self. So yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go.
I was going to say one thing that's really important to note is that someone said this once, and it's just stuck with me ever since. Yes, these women, on these magazine covers or album covers or whatever it is, yes, they may look beautiful, but and yes, there are lots of steps that take them from point A to the cover. But comparison is the death sentence to your destiny. So you shouldn't compare yourself to anyone. You should just try to look and find the best you that you can be.
That's like my whole tagline is be your best you. And that's like I'm on a mission for myself because I've walked out of so much of this crazy self-hatred and drama. And I know it's so prevalent in just normal women's lives, like normal, wonderful, unique women's lives. And so I'm just on a mission to help bust people out of this.
Awesome.
I know that's bust isn't a word, but I'm just going to use it because
that's great.
It makes me mad. So very, very cool. Tell me, so we have our iPhones or we have another, instant digital camera that we've got in our smartphone, or we have a digital camera or something. So we take these pictures, we feel great, we've been working out, we've got this great outfit on because we know that we've dressed for our body type or whatever. And then we take a picture with our family and we hate it because we don't know what we're doing. And I'm not a photographer at all. And I kind of get a clue a little bit just from hanging out with you, but also just kind of doing a lot of photo shoots before myself, but what can we do to get in the right light and to angle ourselves so that we can take really good pictures that we're proud of sharing with our family and friends?
Yeah, well, there's first thing you asked about light, so I'm going to start there. Soft light is the best. It's better to not have some super harsh light that is like would cause raccoon eyes. Anytime you can see a twinkle in someone's eye, that's good. So it's good soft light is important. But here are my 3 tips for posing for looking skinny. Are you ready for them?
Yes.
All right. Tip number 1, I have these written down just to make sure that I don't get anything wrong. Right.
Love
All right.
it.
So I'm not really standing up. I'm sitting down here. Maybe I will in a second. But you should never look at the camera straight on with your shoulders really straight and square, because it's going to be boring, right? And never should be, because you're also going to look the widest possible when you're straight on. It's going to be unflattering, right? And you should never be completely profile. Sometimes girls, like, their arms will kind of get, like, bigger than they are, and especially if they're flat against the side, it can kind of push them out a little bit, and it can make them feel like that. Guys, we might want to be straight on, but man, that's pitiful. Anyways, I need to do more of your workouts. Anyways, okay, so it's never real straight on. All right, the other thing that kind of goes in addition to that is not to put weight on 2 feet. Okay, so when I'm talking about the straight on thing, a lot of times people will, I don't know if you can see this here, but they'll be like real straight on and their stomach will kind of stick out. I know that's not a very flattering angle. There's my family right there in the background. Ta-da! Aren't they awesome? That's Judah, that's David, and that's Tammy.
Tammy, the beautiful Tammy.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Cutest baby in the world.
Yes, he is. Until number 2 comes in July. Come in July 2014. So yeah, I guess you can't really fully see this right now. But if you stand real straight, it's gonna accentuate the stomach. It's not gonna be flattering.
Right.
And you don't want to stand super profile, like I was saying before. So what you want to do, and I wish I could show you full body, but I can't right now, is you want to pivot weight to one side, and it will relax your whole body. So the second step is to actually always have weight on one foot. Okay. And so it could be your back foot or your front foot. And I like to, I like to never have people straight on, never have people sideways, and always have them at a little bit of a slight angle and weight on one foot. So weight on one foot, not straightforward. And then the third thing is, about the neck. You know how, like, no one ever likes to look straight up at someone like this. That's never flattering. That always looks terrible. But what most people, so people know, like, hey, don't shoot up at people. I think a lot of people do know that.
I actually was going to ask you that, because I thought I knew, but then I was like, I can't remember. I can't even believe that I can't remember, but I wanted to, that's a huge thing. So whoever's taking your pictures, you need to make sure that they are what? Not up.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple ways. There are ways that you can compensate, but in general, if you're shooting up, it's going to give you this neck stuff, and people are going to look like they have double, triple, quadruple chins, which is never flattering. The thing about it, though, is that you can look like you have double chins and everything, even for people that don't and that are super skinny, even when they're looking straight on. Like, just if their chin is like pushed back or they're at some kind of weird angle like this. I'm not really sure if you can see that correctly. And the way to fix that is actually rule number 3, which is put your forehead a little bit forward. So and exactly.
I've never heard that. Can't wait for my next cover shoot.
So people could say, put your chin forward, but then they're going to stretch out.
Yeah, that doesn't
look natural. You feel like a chipmunk and all these things. And so you could be like this in a lot of pictures. And then if you just do that, you're just going to feel skinnier. And plus the face will look bigger, and it's actually ideal. So if you're with your family and you are holding arms side by side, maybe that's not ideal. At least pivot your weight to one foot and then try to extend your forehead forward and maybe down a little teeny bit so that you're not accentuating the chin down here.
Love it. This is huge. I've never heard the head forward in all of my photo shoots, but I do relate, David, to the we're gonna move into Photoshop, because I have a little bit of a conflict, but then I do allow some of my images to be retouched if they're covers for DVDs, because it's I could say, oh, I'm never gonna Photoshop anything, but I'll have a wrinkle in my shirt or have a big hair out of place, but it's otherwise a really good picture. But I don't alter my images enough that if you were to do my workout and then see me on the inside in the actual video, that you would think, oh, this is not the same girl. It has to look similar, but I won't allow it to look fake. So I don't allow the images to be altered so much that the inside of the video would be different. I mean, it would be
Right.
just like a smooth out, maybe the skin tone is evened out, a little bit more color in my cheeks or something. But um, I definitely have to shoot about 500 images to get a good cover. And
Right.
it's because I don't know if it's the two-dimensional aspect of the photography, if it just distorts things or what, but I want people to know like it does. Like I love that you said that about the celebrities that these people, these
Right.
musicians, you have to take 3, 4, 500 pictures before you get a D1.
Right. Before you get
Right.
D1. Right.
So I should just share some of my bad pictures someday because I think it would be a good thing for people to see because I don't want people to believe that this is, these cover shoots or these album covers or whatever are reality. So well,
Right.
let's move into Photoshop a little bit. So how far should we take Photoshop, especially in the terms of, these actresses or models and or the fashion industry and what they're doing with women. What do you think?
There's been a lot of controversy over Photoshop and how much Photoshop should we be doing, and what's right and what's acceptable. Um, and I've done some Photoshop things where I didn't really want to do it. Maybe someone requested me to do it, to take out something super significant that I didn't feel like should really be
Right,
altered that much. But as a general rule, the things that I will Photoshop are a wrinkle in the shirt,
right,
right? Things, or it's maybe some zits or blemishes, things like that that aren't actually who they are.
right,
They're a temporary thing. Maybe someone feels super sleepy under the eyes because they didn't get a good
right,
night's sleep.
right,
Well, guess what? The way I try to Photoshop things is like, you know what? If they didn't have any blemishes that day, and if they got a great night of sleep and they
right,
felt well rested, and and their clothing wasn't wrinkled, things like that, and then drawing out, making sure the light's perfect, the angle's perfect, things like that are the things that I
yeah,
Photoshop. So, for instance, I might Photoshop wrinkles and things like that. But what I'm not doing is I'm not removing them entirely.
right,
What I'm doing is I'm softening and I'm lessening the effect. So
right,
you will still see wrinkles or whatever it is under someone's eye. I'm not taking them away. I used to, and I didn't really know why things looked so fake.
right, right.
But I've learned some secrets for retouching to just make people actually look like they would if
More
it was their
alive.
best, most rested,
Yeah,
best skin day that they've
right,
ever had.
exactly.
And that's the way that I try to Photoshop things.
That's a really good point because I really don't think like even people who go and get images, they pay a photographer to take images outside at the beach or for
Right.
Easter or Christmas or whatever. They're gonna retouch those things.
Right.
They're gonna retouch the little blemishes. They're gonna retouch some things, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's I think it's fine, and
Totally.
that's where I use it. I'm not one of those that's like I'm never gonna retouch an image
Right.
because I don't know. It just photography is interesting, and
Yeah.
so I'm with you there. So I like that. I just do believe that a lot of the excessive altering really does mess with us, and we just need to understand that it's just. I think everybody's going through this. Photographers, people who are shot like models. There's a lot of talk about it right now. There's a lot of things
Right.
going on the internet. Upworthy.com is a website that really covers this a lot, and so I think that we're hearing a lot about it because people are sort of going, when's enough? But I think as long
Right.
as you're in balance and you're trying to just accentuate the assets and
Right.
not like really alter someone's body type or
Yeah.
face or whatever, then it's cool. It's
Yeah,
just really amazing.
they do crazy things. I mean, they'll make for retouching for I'm sorry, for magazine covers, which I won't do this stuff, but they will literally make people's eyes bigger so that they, come closer. They'll make the neck longer.
Yeah,
They'll literally just take the whole head and move it up, and then of course they'll make this bigger and
yeah,
more shadows here.
right,
And there's all sorts of things. That's another thing, though, that if you have a good photographer and someone who knows lighting and positioning well, you can take someone who's 50, 100 pounds heavier than they should be, and with the correct lighting, with the correct shading and shadowing, you can make them lose those
wow,
50, 100 pounds. I could mention some different celebrities. I don't want to call
right,
call any of them
yeah,
by name, but on their album cover, you're like, how did they look so good? And they're like, just lots of shadow in places that you don't really
right,
think. and it might not necessarily be crazy Photoshop. They might not actually be skinny. They might just actually be looking forward and up or something like this, and then, you know, yeah, there's different angles and things like that you can do, and not just photoshopping to make things look super fit.
Yeah, interesting. Well, that's cool. I've never really realized that. So that's really great. I'm happy to hear a professional's opinion on this, because it is an issue. It is something that I just want all of us to stop looking at all of the fashion, all of this. I mean, it's fine to look at that stuff if it doesn't bother you, but
sure.
Just
it's when you start comparing yourself to unreality, where it gets hurt. It's hurtful. It's not healthy for our society.
Thank you. That's
absolutely.
Perfect. That's awesome. So yay. All right.
Be the best you. Don't be someone else, and don't compare yourself to them.
Because honestly, they're probably, I mean, I lived in New York. I lived around a lot of models. I actually used to train a few models that were on covers of magazines, and they had the same issues that, you know, the average woman in middle America has, or beyond. Because, I mean, we have girls doing SPF all over the world. So, you know, I just love it. I think I'm super excited to shed some light, and some good light. And so let's talk about what you like. I'm really excited. I've been getting your emails. You're one of the best emailers, because you always get, on Tuesdays, I get your emails. They're always this amazing information about how I can use my iPhone. So can you tell me a little bit about what's going on with your website, with your new product, your book?
Yeah, I've actually, you know, long story short, there was a couple of years ago, I was just really frustrated. I've been shooting professionally for 8 or 9 years now. I should probably do the math so I know that, but something like that, 8 or 9 years. And, you know, it got to the point where I was kind of sick of getting the big old heavy camera out just to document moments. And I got to the point where I was kind of getting grumpy and uninspired, and I wouldn't want to photograph anything unless I was getting paid. And that's when I knew I was in trouble. And then one day, all of a sudden, Apple released, I think it was like the iPhone 4, probably the iPhone 4 or 4S. Yeah. And I realized, like, wow, this is like an amazing camera, and it's always with me. Right. And I started getting frustrated because it was an amazing camera, but I couldn't always get it to shoot great pictures the whole time. I became, and that's when things started changing. I like set myself on a mission to try to figure out how I could take professional quality photos with my iPhone, and that's what I've dedicated the last couple of years to doing and achieving. Because the thing is I believe we all have an important personal story to tell, share, and remember, to document. Right. The thing is that if you don't capture your personal story, who will? Right. Maybe no one. And that's why I believe the best camera in the entire world is the one that's always in your pocket. Oh, I love it. Yeah. And so I spent the last 2 years of my life writing a book about the best camera in the world, which I think for me is my iPhone. Right. And so many other people too. They have an iPhone. Maybe they have a Google Droid or whatever they're called. That's kind of funny. And they take amazing photos too. But the book is teaching people how to use their iPhones to capture their story and take amazing photos. I teach people, 3 things. I say that there's three important lessons to learn in order to take amazing photos every single time. Yeah. Number 1, it's how to take manual control of your camera. Because so many times you're trying to take a picture, and it doesn't turn out the way that you want. It's too bright or it's too dark because it auto does all this stuff. And this way you can actually manually control your camera. Number 2 is how to create strong composition. That's how to, take a flattering picture, pick the right angle, the right crop, things like that. And the third thing is how to edit to recreate the emotion that you felt when you actually took the photo. Because just how many times have you, tried to show someone a photo? Oh my gosh, this was so cool. This is so cool. You show them the photo and you're like, it just doesn't quite, oh, it was so much more beautiful than that, So cool. One of my goals for the book was to teach people how to edit so that they never have to say that again. Right. It teaches people how to actually edit to recreate those feelings that they felt when they actually saw the photo. Yeah. So what's going on is I just finished my book. There is a condensed version that I'm actually giving away for free to people right now, and I'm giving it away on davidmolnar.com/free. And the full book comes out in a few weeks. So super excited.
Super excited. And you just break it down so easily. I mean, if nothing else, people should be getting your emails because
Yeah.
You taught, like, you did this, I don't know if you were at Arrington Vineyards or somewhere, but you had shot something, a landscape. You may have been in North Carolina. I don't know, but you had something, it was a piece of trash, but otherwise beautiful landscape. And you showed, like, in step 1, step 2, step 3, how to get that little piece of trash out using an app.
Yeah.
And that's like, I don't have time to go figure all that out for myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I want a master to teach me how to use, because I have a 5S. And I guess that's what it's called, the 5, whatever. It's this one, and it's like got a great camera. Yeah, but I have no idea how to use it, so I can't wait. I'm getting whatever version you have. I am excited to get. So
awesome.
I'm super excited. Thank you. So, do you want to? Is that good for now? Do you have anything else to share, or are we good? Let me just say this. David is my husband's favorite surfing pal.
Yes.
He comes down and surfs with Levi, and also David is going to be helping us with the next 3 bar amped DVDs.
Yes, and I'm so amped.
I know.
We're gonna raise the bar.
Okay, number 3, he is the king of puns. So if you like puns, you will love this guy. So you guys follow David, davidmolnar.com, and sign up for his emails, and also like his Facebook page, follow him on Twitter, whatever social platforms you're on. And thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Suzanne. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see you in Nashville, and I can't wait for you guys to come to the beach.
Oh, we can't wait either. I think we're coming tomorrow.
Oh yeah, good.
In fact,
you're leaving right now.
Knock, knock, knock.
Some 8-foot swell out there. All right, guys.
That sounds
we'll see you soon. Bye, David.